I am Dr. Chidanand Mansur speaking from a remote village in Haveri district called Hanumanahatti. I welcome all the participants for this talk on farming systems of agroclimatic zones of Karnataka. I would like to share you the important agriculture features of Karnataka. The Karnataka is the 8th largest state in Karnataka with 19.1 million hectares of area, and net cultivated area is around 10.5 million hectares. And area under irrigation is 26%. That means 74% of area is under rain-fed conditions. It is next to Rajasthan, is the driest state after Rajasthan. And average rainfall is 1,150 mm, of which 70% is received during the month from June to September. And these are the important terminology we use in agriculture, like the cropping pattern, the yearly sequence and spatial arrangement. That means ಬೆಳೆ ನಮೂನೆ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೀತೀವಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ. ಒಂದು ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಗಳನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಅನುಕ್ರಮವಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ ಸರದಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆ ನಮೂನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವಿಷಯ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ತರ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಸೋಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಒನ್ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಗ್ರೋಡ್ ಅಲೋನ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನ ಒಂದ್ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಳಿತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸೋಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಡೀ ಬೆಳೆ. Monocropping, a crop system in which the population of crops other than the main crop grown in relay sequential or intercropping with main crop or greatly reduced. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊನೋಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನ ಒಳ್ಳೊಳ್ಳೆ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ. ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಪಂಜಾಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂಗಾರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಭತ್ತ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ, ಹಿಂಗಾರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಗೋಧಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ. That means paddy during kharif and wheat during rabi. Multiple cropping, ಇದು ಬಹುಬೆಳೆ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಅಂತೀವಿ. The intensification of cropping in time and space ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಂಗಾಮುವಾರು ಮತ್ತು ಜಮೀನಿನ ಇವೇನದಾವಲ್ಲ ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್, ಇವನ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್, ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಅಥವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಬೆಳೆಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಯುವಂತಹ ಪದ್ಧತಿಗೆ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್. ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುಬೆಳೆ ಯೋಜನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಕ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂತರ್ ಬೆಳೆ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್ another crop with main crop. That means in order to avoid the total failure, it is an attempt from the agricultural science. Another one is mixed intercropping. Here you are growing another crop with the main crop without any distinct row arrangement. In intercrop you are having row arrangement. For example, one row of cotton and one row of chili. 1:1. We call it as intercropping with row. Mixed intercropping is without any row distinction. That is in the next we have clearly mentioned row intercropping. Growing 2 or more crops simultaneously where 1 or more crops are planted in rows. Then patch cropping. That means you are going to have the crops in patches without any row arrangement. Strip intercropping. You are going to have the crops in 2 strips. One strip is permitting the water to move easily, another strip is not permitting the water to move so easily. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಪಟ್ಟಿ ಬೆಳೆ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ಇದ್ದಂತ ಮಳೆ ನೀರು ಸಾವಕಾಶವಾಗಿ ಹರಿದು ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನೀರನ್ನ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹರಿಯಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡೋದು. ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಮಾಯ್ಚರ್ ಇನ್ ಸಿಟಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಳೆಯಿಂದ ಬಿದ್ದಂತ ನೀರು ಇದ್ದಲೇನೆ ಹಿಂಗುವಾಗ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಪ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಕ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ. ದೆನ್ ರಿಲೇ ಇಂಟರ್ಕ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್. That means you are going to plant a crop before the harvest of the first crop. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆಳೆದಿರ್ತೀರಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕಟಾವ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆಳಿತೀರಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೆಳೆ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ಒಂದ್ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಅಥವಾ 3 ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆಳಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಒಂದು ಬೆಳೆ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯಿಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ 10 ಎಕರೆ ಜಮೀನನ್ನ 3 ಸಲ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 30 ಎಕರೆ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. That means cropping intensity is increased 3 times. This is an attempt also to increase the cropping intensity by relay intercropping. Without giving any scope for wastage of season, you are going to have one crop after another crop. For example, June to September is kharif crop, then October to January is rabi crop, and February to May is summer crop. This is the way how we cultivate the crops in kharif, rabi, and summer. And different terminologies I was mentioning about cropping system. ಬೆಳೆ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ. The cropping pattern used on a farm and their interaction with farm resources and other enterprises, technology and environment. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೊಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆಳಿತೀರಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಏನದವಲ್ಲ ಉದ್ದಿಮೆಗಳು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಡೇರಿ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಮೊಲ ಸಾಕಣೆ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಜೇನು ಸಾಕಣೆ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಅವೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Cropping scheme ಅಂದ್ರೆ the scheme is a plan according to which the crops are grown. For example, if you have 1 hectare of land, if you name it as block A carries crop like maize during Kharif, Bengal gram during Rabi, and sunflower during summer. That means during Kharif you are going cereal crop, during Rabi you are going pulse crop, during summer you are going acid maize, pea, and flower. This is we called as cropping scheme. And very recently you are hearing about this particular concept, organic farming. That means ಸಾವಯವ ಕೃಷಿ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನ ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕಗಳನ್ನ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಇರೋ ಬಳಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ಸ್ ದ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಂಥೆಟಿಕಲಿ ಕಂಪೌಂಡೆಡ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ಸ್, ಗ್ರೋತ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟರ್ಸ್, ಲೈವ್ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಫೀಡ್ ಅಡಿಟಿವ್ಸ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕಗಳ ಬಳಕೆಯಿಂದ ಆಗುವಂತ ಅನಾಹುತಗಳನ್ನು ತಪ್ಪಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್. And regarding the agroclimatic zones of Karnataka, Karnataka state has been divided into 10 agroclimatic zones based on the soil type, rainfall pattern, number of rainy days, total rainfall, then present land use system, and the possibility of having double cropping or intercropping in the area. For example, the first zone is Northeastern transition zone. Transition means the zone which separates the low rainfall area from the high rainfall area. Idu transition zone ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳವಲನಾಡು, ಗಡಿನಾಡು, ಮಲೆನಾಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಗಡಿನಾಡು ಅನ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನ್ zone ಅಂತ ಈಶಾನ್ಯ ಅರೆ ಮಲೆನಾಡು ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಅಥವಾ ಈಶಾನ್ಯ ಗಡಿನಾಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಹುದು. And then annual rainfall is 830 to 920. This is average of 60 years. And districts covered are Bidar, Gulbarga, and plus Yadgir is there, new district. Then the major soil, shallow, medium, deep black soils. Andre shallow andre ಮಣ್ಣಿನಾಳ 30 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು, ಮೀಡಿಯಂ 30 ರಿಂದ 45 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್, deep black soil from 45 to 60 centimeters. That means we have categorized the soils based on the depth, shallow, medium, and deep black soil. The present land use system in this particular zone is the major crop is sorghum, jola, pulses, ದ್ವಿದಳ ಧಾನ್ಯ, then bajra, ಸಜ್ಜೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರದು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ irrigation ಇರಲಿ ಕಬ್ಬು ಮತ್ತೆ sunflower, ಸೂರ್ಯಕಾಂತಿ. Then suggested double cropping based on the continuous research from the universities working in the zone. Black gram followed by Bengal gram, or sorghum, black gram followed by sunflower and Bengal gram. So this is the sequence of crops which have been found very profitable in the agroclimatic zone. That is number 1 in Karnataka. Next. This is second zone, northeastern dry zone. Andre Ishanya Vana Pradesh ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. When we say it is dry zone, the rainfall is low, 460 to 785. The districts covered are Gulbarga and Raichur, part of the Gulbarga, part of the Raichur. In the major soil, deep soil, shallow soils, medium black soil, gravelly, non-gravelly, red loamy. ಇಲ್ಲ ರೆಡ್ ಲೋಮಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮಸಾರಿ ಮಣ್ಣು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೋಡು ಮಿಶ್ರಿತ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲೇ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರೆಮಣ್ಣು. Then present land use system ಅಲ್ಲಿ Rabi sorghum, bajra, groundnut, cotton, wheat, and rice. Rice is confined to irrigated area. Then suggested double cropping, it is like. And these are the alternatives. You can try any sequence, Kharif, Rabi, or summer. And we have given you a number of choices. The farmers have the choice to follow or take up any one among this group. This is also based on decades of research, testing on for farmers' field, and working out its economics, the profitability, etc. That means if you spend 1 rupee, you must get back at least 1 rupee 50 paisa. That is what we call crop-benefit ratio. So in that context, these are the possible double cropping systems, intercropping systems suggested for northeastern zone having this much of rainfall in this area with these soils. Present land system. We want to improve this present land, and these are the this is the third zone is the biggest zone in Karnataka, northern dry zone. Uttaravana Valaya and Halkivi, and the rainfall is 400 to 785 millimeter. This covered are Bijapur, Bellary, part of Belgaum, Dharwad, Raichur, Palpur, Dadagan, Koppal. Major swells deep, more than 60 centimeter depth. Shallow, less than 13 ಇದೆ ಕರಿಮಣ್ಣು ಕಪ್ಪು ಮಣ್ಣಿದೆ ಗ್ರಾವಲಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಹರಳು ಮಿಶ್ರಿತ ಇದು ನಾನ್ ಗ್ರಾವಲಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉಸುಕು ಮಿಶ್ರಿತ ಗೋಡು ಮಣ್ಣು ಇದೆ ಎರೆ ಮಣ್ಣು ಇದೆ ಆಳವಾದದ್ದು ಇದೆ ಮಧ್ಯಮ ಆಳವಿದೆ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ರಬಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋರ್ಗಮ್ಮು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಂಗಾರಿ ಮಳೆ ಬರೋದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಖಚಿತವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ರಬಿ ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ರಬಿ ಸೋರ್ಗಮ್ ಮೇಜ್ bajra, groundnut, cotton, wheat, and sunflower. These are the crops being grown by the farmers of. And based on the rainfall, the soil depth, and the present soil present in the area, and the present land use system being practiced by the farmers, the University of Agriculture Sciences in Karnataka for this zone have suggested these important cropping and intercropping. For example, green gram during Kharif, then Rabi sorghum during Rabi, then safflower instead of sorghum, or even Bengal gram, sunflower. Sunflower, safflower, they are the important crops. And sunflower has a specific requirement. It means it's very widely accepted because it can be sown during all the. And there are some insensitive varieties, those can be during any season. That's why there is a larger demand for crop like. Similarly, there is a scope for Bengal gram plus safflower. That means 3 grams of Bengal gram and 1 row of safflower. Here you are going to have the exploitation of soil from the top 30 centimeter from Bengal gram and further than that. And that means 30 to 60 or even more. Safflower can extract moisture, nutrients from things. The participating crops are not disturbing each other, and each crop is capable of means will produce its maximum when they are grown in a particular. Then another important zone is central dry zone, and the average rainfall is 450 to 720. Thus, districts covered Chitradurga, Tumkur, Mangalore, Hasan. And major soils of this central zone are gravelly red, loamy, clay soils, non-gravelly red. These are the soil groups present in the different magnitude. The extent is differing from different zones. And here, the land use system is ragi is a major crop. Chitradurga is known for ragi, and oilseed is brown. That means the highest area of groundnut is from. That is the reason why you find more of the oil crushing mills. Chitradurga, especially Kstacademy. Ragi, kharif, then groundnut, coconut, rice, bajra, and cotton. These are the important crops in this type of soils. That's the rainfall pattern zone. And based on the research conducted by the universities working in this zone, central dry zone, Madhya Pradesh and Delhi, the suggested double cropping system. We have single crop in this zone because of the less rainfall. In the red soil, this is the only option available for us. Then mixed cropping of ragi, cauliflower, cowpea, water sorghum, groundnut mixed with castor, minor millet, mustard. Minor millet means the millets having small grains like your navane, then small millet, save, baragu, udla, harka, korale. These are the millets which are now identified as the most important sources of for healthy these are the possible cropping system suggested for this area. Central. Next. Number 5th zone is eastern dry zone. Then annual rainfall is little bit higher than the Darwan 680 980. And Polar Bangalore district. Now it can include Chikmalapur. Again, the major soil groups are gravelly and non-gravelly. Okay. Kempu, JD ಮಿಶ್ರ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಕ್ಲೇ ಅಂದ್ರೆ JD. ಲ್ಯಾಟ್ರಾಟಿಕ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತೆಂಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಳಸ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಜಂಬಿಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಣ್ಣು ಅಂತ. Then the present land use system is ragi, pulses, groundnut, maize, mulberry. Where sericulture is a important or profitable enterprise, the farmers go for this particular crop to feed the silk. Even rice, vegetables, flowers are again the crops of irrigation. Then based on the present land use system, the suggested double cropping and intercropping to improve productivity, production and profitability and bringing the prosperity to the farmers. These are the suggested activities. Cropping ragi, then dolichos, coffee, water, sorghum, groundnut with castor. Castor ಅಂದ್ರೆ outlaw. Render minutes record agel save navane barada. Then cropping of ragi plus red gram. That means end cropping. ಅಂತರ ಬೆಳೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ರಾಗಿನ ಮತ್ತು ತೊಗರಿನ ಅಂತರ ಬೆಳೆಗಳು. Then groundnut plus red gram. Then maize plus red gram. The advantage is each season the short durational crop will enjoy the benefits of early rains and short spell depth. Then the participating crop like red gram will have the longer duration. It attracts the moisture from deeper layer, nutrients from deep. That means in this system, means mustard, ragi plus red gram or groundnut plus red gram plus red gram. You are going to have the advantage of shallow rooted and deep rooted. One is cereal, another one is LC. In case of maize, one is cereal, another one is red gram. Cereal is ಆಹಾರಧಾನ್ಯ ಅಥವಾ ತೃಣಧಾನ್ಯ ಅಂತೀವಿ. Red gram means ತೊಗರಿ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ. And similarly, the next zone is southern dry zone, and this region, this zone receives annual rainfall of 670 to 890, and the districts covered by this zone, Mysore, Chamarajanagar, Mangalore, including Udupi, Hassan, and the soils again, they're gravelly, non-gravelly, red loamy, clay, and limited extent of blacks. ಅಂದ್ರೆ southern dry zone, ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ವನ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಪ್ಪು ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ. That means we have more of red soil and other types of. The present land use system from this southern dry zone includes rice, ragi, pulses, millet, mulberry, sugarcane, and coconut. Then the suggested double cropping or intercropping, that is an improvement over this type of activities which are right now in practice. This is mixed cropping of ragi, then pulses, niger, OP, then fodder sorghum, David Salvari, dairy industry, then groundnut with red gram, then sorghum plus red gram, sorghum plus dolichos. So when you mix the crop as an intercrop, you are likely to take the advantage of the season. One crop having the maximum growth during Kharif, another one is during Rabi. That means you are going to take the advantage of both the seasons, growing crops which are found suitable for that area to realize its production potential and their yield, and ultimately next. Southern transition zone. ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಅರೆಮಲೆನಾಡು ಅಥವಾ ಗಡಿ ನಾಡು ಪ್ರದೇಶ. And again, the rainfall is higher, 610 to 1000. Districts covered are Mysore, Hassan, Shivaga, Chikmagalur, etc. The soil type, these are the soil types, different agriculture. The extent of presence of this soil is altogether. Then present land system, rice, ragi, pulses, sorghum, and cover. These are the crops being grown to have tough rainfall. And based on the research conducted from US Bangalore, the University of mixed cropping of ragi, dolichos, niger, OP, pulsande, groundnut with red gram, castor, dolichos, OP, butter sorghum, mustard, sorghum with kundi, hibiscus, fiber crop. Again, These are the activities which are found suitable, and farmer can think of practicing any one or two from this group based on the resources people has the seeds from this. That means seeds saved for sowing purpose. And otherwise, you can buy it from the market. That means this is an improvement in the existing cropping this type of soil. For 7. Next. This is northern transition zone. And this is the area receiving the rainfall from 620 to 1300. And districts covered are Harvard. Now it is divided into Rural and Haveri also. Then Belgaum district. And here the special feature is you find shallow, medium and deep naturals. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಪ್ಪು ಮಣ್ಣಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಳದ, ಮಧ್ಯಮ ಆಳದ ಮತ್ತು ಆಳವಾದಂತ ಮಣ್ಣನ್ನು ತಾವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಗ್ರಾವೆಲಿ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ಸ್. ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹರಳೆ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಮಣ್ಣು. ದೆನ್ ನಾನ್ ಗ್ರಾವೆಲಿ ರೆಡ್ ಲೋಮಿ. ರೆಡ್ ಲೋಮಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಂಪು ಗೋಡು ಮಿಶ್ರ. ಮಸಾರೆ ಅಂತಿರಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಭಿನ್ನವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ಕ್ಲೇ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ಸ್, ಎರೆ ಜಮೀನು. Thermoelectric soil kami. Then this is the present land use system. The crops of this zone include sorghum, groundnut, pulses, rice, then sugarcane, cotton, wheat, and forest. I tell you the beauty of this transition zone. That means eastern transition zone, then southern transition zone, then northern transition. There are 3 transition zones. That means Gadinad and Threshold, Karnataka. The beauty of these zones is though the rainfall is higher than the low rainfall in dry areas, but lesser than the hilly and coastal area. The advantage is the prevailing rainfall pattern, number of rainy days, of rainfall, and the total rainfall is so conducive. It gives an opportunity to the farmers to have number of choices. You can have number of crops from cereals, ಆಹಾರಧಾನ್ಯದ ಬೆಳೆ, pulses, ಬೆಳೆಕಾಳು, ದ್ವಿದಳ ಧಾನ್ಯ, oilseed, ಎಣ್ಣೆಕಾಳುಗಳ ಬೆಳೆ, then ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಬೆಳೆ ಅಂತ ಕಬ್ಬು, then forest. That means there is lot of scope available for the farmers of this particular zone, that is northern transitional. And these 3 zones are considered as most important zones for producing variety of crops, right from fruits, aromatic cereals, oilseeds, commercial crops, whatnot, flowers. And based on the research of the universities, different locations, these are the better or cropping activities found suitable for this type of soil, type of rainfall, and northern transition zone. And these are options available for the farmer. ಪರ್ಯಾಯ ಆಯ್ಕೆಗಳು ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಪರ್ಯಾಯ ಆಯ್ಕೆಗಳು. You can choose 1 or 2 into his need or even the assured market and his experience or the resource he is right now. All depends on the farmer's vision. He can think of taking any crop on the list. That means only the farmers of this. This is hilly zone. Third Pradesh ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಮಲೆನಾಡು ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದು. And this is showing the rainfall. 2700. 3700 ಮಳೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕೊಡಗು, ಮಂಗಳೂರು, ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗ, ಉತ್ತರ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಬೆಳಗಾಂ, ಧಾರವಾಡ, and these districts have the portion of hilly zone. Soil types are area and that needs growth. They differ, but these are the soil types of. And the present land use system is like coffee, rice, pulses, and forest space. Suggested double coffee, rice, green gram, or black gram, On arecanut, hybrid maize, planted during Rabi and otherwise. Arecanut and plant banana are called as plantation. ತೋಟಪಟ್ಟಿ ಬೆಳೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ತೋಟದ ಬೆಳೆಗಳು. And these are the activities that are compared to this better one. Farmers can realize three better production, productivity, and profit. First of all, is I am just suggesting the different crops, food system, Rabi, summer, and means high yielding varieties of different crops which are being read by the university. Made available to person easily. That means hill zone can think these things are gives to better performance, crop and air productivity and production. Only one zone present. And the next zone is post Karavali Pradesh and Parent. See, the rainfall starts from 3000 and still 3700 millimeters. So these are the districts covered, and again, soils are a portion of the soil. ಏನು ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಬೆಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದು that area soil area is more and little of alluvial ಮೆಕ್ಕಲು ಮಣ್ಣು ಅಂತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕ alluvial soils ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಂಪು ಜೇಡಿ ಮಿಶ್ರಿತ ಹೊರಟಾದಂತ. So these are the major soil group of 10 in Karnataka, of rainfall, and then instead of rice, groundnut, pulses, fresh crops, farmer can think of rice during kharif, groundnut during, and even rabi. For example, the beauty of this coastal zone is farmers can think of growing groundnut during rabi profitably. That means this coastal zone provides an unique opportunity for cultivation of crop like groundnut, and groundnut cannot be cultivated in other 9 zones during rabi. The major difference or the distinct feature present in coastal zone, this of rainfall in these the narrow difference between maximum and minimum temperature. For example, the maximum temperature if it is 36 and the minimum temperature is 31. Coming to other areas, if the maximum temperature is 35, 36, the minimum temperature is 18 to 20. Big gap between the maximum and minimum temperature during Rabi season leads unsuccessful means case of groundnut, pollen abortion, and the groundnut cannot be case of other zones except this. That means each zone, each soil group, each land system, they are the systems being followed by the farmers by virtue of their long experience and resources at their. So the research has proved that rice, groundnut, rice, coffee, rice, Indian bar black ಅಂತ ಮುಂಗಾರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಭತ್ತ, ಹಿಂಗಾರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇಂಗಾ ಅಥವಾ ಅಲಸಂದಿ ಅಥವಾ ಹೆಸರು. Among the pulses, black gram. This is very precious pulse and it fetches better pricing. That's why farmers always prefer black gram of green gram in rice gram. ಭತ್ತ ತಕ್ಕೊಂಡಿಂದ ಬರುವಂತ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಳೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ that means this particular crop needs the available moisture in the rice field better compared to pulses and even an oilseed crop, salmon, yellow, or rice. Then these are the plantation. Wherever coconut is there, one can think of banana and two kinds of cardamom plus cocoa. Yalakki ಮತ್ತು cocoa. Then coconut plus pepper. Coconut plus pepper. ತೆಂಗು ಮತ್ತು ಮೆಣಸು. Then arecanut and banana. ಅಡಿಕೆ ಮತ್ತು So these are the possible activities in 10 agroclimate zones, starting from 1 to 10, with different rainfall and districts covered, major soil groups, and land use system, and improvement over these land system or so 10 agroclimatic zones, 10 different type of rainfall pattern, total rainfall, then area covered is different, and soil groups are different, and this is resisted double or double ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದ್ವಿಬೆಳೆ, ಭೂಬೆಳೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಭಾಗ, and intercropping ಅಂತರ ಬೆಳೆ. So this is most important for the farmers getting better production activity. Next, I would like to impress you a particular cropping activity or other animal activity or there in a particular zones. I want to cover these important things like the basic factors and conditions responsible for development of farming system and continued presence of crop and animal species in that zone. ಈಗ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಬೆಳೆಗಳು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಸೀಮಿತ ಬಹಳ ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ಯಾಕಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಕಾರಣ we are going to list. Next, for example, effective rainfall, ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಹವಾಮಾನ ಹವಾಗುಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Here the effective climate includes temperature. It includes maximum temperature, ಗರಿಷ್ಠ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶ, minimum temperature, ಕನಿಷ್ಠ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶ, average, ಸರಾಸರಿ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶ. The temperature is most favorable for several crops. Can't think of the better performance of chickpea in Karnataka and compared to the same chickpea in. For an example, it is experimentally proved also. The same crop of chickpea ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್ 20ಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿತ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡೈಲಿ ಒಳಗೂ ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್ 20ಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿತ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 90 ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕಟಾವಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. 20ರಿಂದ 100 ದಿವಸ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನವೆಂಬರ್, ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್, ಜನವರಿ 20, ಜನವರಿ 30ಕ್ಕೆ ಕಟಾವಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅಬೌಟ್ 190 to 100 days. Same crop takes 150 days. Northern India, 60 days. That means the duration of the same crop is more in type of climate. Yield is double than after. A farmer can get 10 quintals per acre in Karnataka, the same crop 20 quintals per acre in the temperature plays vital role for the presence of a particular cropping activity, a particularly crop like wheat, then mustard. Mustard is a crop of the severe winter. In North India is having a features like long winter, severe winter. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೀರ್ಘವಾದ ಚಳಿಗಾಲ ಮತ್ತು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಉಷ್ಣಾಂಶ ಇರುವಂತ. Temperature is at very low. It's an important factor to decide the presence of rainfall. Including the second one is rainfall. That means total rainfall, enough rainfall, ಮಳೆ ಹಂಚಿಕೆ, then number of rainy days. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಳೆ ದಿನಗಳು. A day which receives 2.5 mm and above has one rain. So the rainy days are important. Apart from these three, that means among the three factors, total rainfall, and number of the distribution of rainfall, presence of a larger area or not at all. That means absence of several crops. The altitude is the level, that means the location of the area above the mean sea level. ಇದರ ಸಮಪಾತಗಳಿಗಿಂತ ಹೆಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುವಂತ. ಎವ್ರಿ 1000 ಮೀಟರ್ 100 ಮೀಟರ್ಗೆ degree Celsius. This is an average. That means I want to impress you the effective climate, which includes temperature, and altitude. They are the important factors deciding the presence of a particular crop in the land physical form. Means soil types, terrain, whether it is level or having undulating topography. ಮೇಲ್ಮೈ ಸಮಪಾತವೇ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಏರಿಳಿತಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿದೆ. They need the ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ. There is a lot of difference. That means the terrain and soil types. Soil types I told you, red soil, ಕೆಂಪು ಮಣ್ಣು, black soil, ಮಣ್ಣು, ಎರಡು ಮಿಶ್ರ, sorry, the laterite soil, alluvial. My friends, I'd like to impress you the soil types, how they decide a particular crop being grown very successfully in a particular area. For example, in case of black soils, they have more clay and there the infiltration rate is slow. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಳೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀರಿನ ಒಳ ಸೂಸೋ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ದರ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. But moisture holding capacity is once the soil is wet, it takes more time to get dry. That means black soils are most suited for the dry. Farmer can really rely on. Contrary to this, the red soils, ನೀರಿನ ಒಳಸೂಸೋ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ infiltration rate is high, but the moisture holding less. Fertility wise, the red soils are less fertile. And you can expect the mixture of these characters in the mixed soil. That means the mixed soils, then the red soils, or even red sandy loam soils, they are fit for certain. For example, a crop like ground loves sandy loam soils. The Godo, the soil which provides natural drainage and provides better atmosphere for podding and for formation and grain formation of life. That is the reason why the groundnut cultivation is confined to the areas having domination. ಕೆಂಪು ಮಣ್ಣು ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಶೇಂಗಾ ಬೆಳಿಬಹುದು. That is the reason why I have taken points. The next one is land biotic biochemical status. That means the fertility, ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಫಲವತ್ತತೆ. That means the capacity of the soil provide the required nutrient in available form. That is called as fertility. Whereas productivity is the capacity of the soil to respond to the management condition. Soil fertile ಆಗಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. But productive soil are in abundance, available form, and they are available to the group. Another one is organic. That means this is the important parameter which is considered as source of nutrients for the one basic thing we have to understand. 88% of the climate is the possibility of retaining this organic matter content in soil is very means our soils are very poor in organic matter content. That means for every 100 kg of soil, you can find less than 1 kg of organic. 0.8 kg, 0.6 kg or 0.7 kg. And the farmers of this area, as a student who are interested in science, you must realize that tropical conditions, the exhaustion of the organic matter, that means degradation of organic matter takes place at very fast. Even the organisms which are the organisms present in the soil are important agents for mineralization of the nutrients into the available. When the organisms are in abundance, that means if they are active and if they are in some number, there the mineralization process is very ಖನಿಜೀಕರಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನು ಪೋಷಕಾಂಶ ಇದಾವಲ್ಲ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅವು ಬಯಸುವಂತ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಯೂರಿಯಾ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ. ಯೂರಿಯಾ ಇಸ್ ಕಂಟೈನಿಂಗ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಮೈಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. And this amide form of urea having nitrogen can have different type of form, that is NO3 and NH. So these organisms are responsible for making the nutrients available the crop in available form. This activity can be better in only soils having better moisture condition, temperature regime. Then another one is pH, which is the activity of the organism largely depend on pH. Then this is the negative logarithm of the present organic activity in soil. Sasara antene ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. This is most important. Less than 7 is acidic, more than 7 is alkaline, and 6, 7 is neutral. Always the nutrient availability is maximum when the pH is any crop, the activity of organisms, the availability of nutrients, terms of organic matter, are the important factors. It's even the presence of crop, even moisture control facility. If you have irrigation, it must be provided with proper. ನೀರಾವರಿಯಿಂದ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ನೀರು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾದ ನೀರು ಬಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇದೆ. The proper drainage system is must for the excess draining from the crop and even floods. So these are the conditions. If you are having irrigated area, the cropping pattern is different. For example, in India, Punjab, Haryana, and UP, they are Western UP and parts of Rajasthan. They are considered as the food baskets of Karnataka, food baskets of India. And the yields, right? And whatever we are there in the major contribution from these importers was more than 90% area. There are some problems. If there is no drainage, affected, may enhance, and if the land is not properly leveled, you can find runoff. And when there is a runoff, the runoff water takes soil particles along with it, and is it runoff with soil particles, there is movement of the land. That means another important is soil stability, and this is erosion and salinity. ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಸವಕಳಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಜವಳ ಆಗೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಸವಳ ಆಗೋದು ಇದೇನು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎರೋಷನ್, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್. salinity, when the soil is very proper, ಎರಡು ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ soil is stable and you can think of crops. And even unwanted like weeds, predators, pests and disease. My friends, I would like to give you an example, or the very important factor here is India. I told in the beginning, 88% of the area is under tropical belt, and the features of tropical belt is more than 308 to 310 days of bright sunny days in a year, and you can't get this type of long sunny day period out of the world. Better rainfalls, though there is some variation. There is rain, heavy rain, and pre-monsoon. The rains which you are receiving from April to June, they are called pre-seasonal. And this type of soil, different type of soil, vegetations are different, and climate is bright sunny and full rainfall. These conditions leads to the default enemies for the Indian pest, pathogens, and causing organisms, insects, and even some predators which feeds on insect and even. And when I told India is blessed with very good climate, variety of soils, good vegetation, and these three are the important enemies by default. Indian agriculture has to deal with these important factors. We have to make all out efforts to minimize the loss caused by these. The extent of loss by this it is around it is and technological adoption, chemicals, reducing. For example, now due to lack of labor, different activities cannot be performed on the farm daily. In agriculture, the operation, the farmers are much aware of this. That means the availability of chemicals for managing also concept of This technological adoption is proper. Most suitable area like water, well, economic infrastructure, availability of assured market, prices. So, P, prices, government controls, and these are the important parameters which decides the extent of area, the profitability of each crop, the profit earned by farmers, and social infrastructure, customs, work ethic class, status, and tenure, level knowledge. That means social infrastructure also leads to a particular crop activity or even the other associated activity like or even, for example, the social system. All the people or the group of people may not like an activity like pig farming. And this happens ಎಲ್ಲರೂ then goat and sheep, ಕುರಿ ಮತ್ತು ಆಡು ಸಾಕಣೆ may not be also liked by all the. So this social infrastructure is also an important factor to decide the activity of the farming activities, crops, animals, organisms. And so my friends, I that important factors are most important factors besides which crop, which area, how much, which animal, which area, in what percent, which combination of insect-based activity, which combination of organized-based organism. How much? So I thought of just creating some interest among you about the different farming system. Subsistence farming system. Canada, we call it as a system which just feeds the farmer. A system which is characterized by a feature like hand to mouth. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೈಗೆ ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಸಮ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಲಾಭಾಂಶ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬದುಕುಳಿದ ದೊಡ್ಡದ ಒಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಧನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಬ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ವೈವಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಡೆಸೋದಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟಬಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. This type of farming system normally worldwide 40% of the world are type of in this type of agriculture. Mostly little is there for sale. Whatever the farmers produces, they are for self-consumption. Yeah. Subsistence farming system, and in most of the subsistence farming system, field crops are the important compared to commercial or even the flower or the other plant. This is commercial farming system. I told this is a better system of getting more profit. And normally the farmers who are having their farm size 10 hectares. That means those farmers can think of doing their size and cotton, sugarcane, tobacco. So here you can find types of farming system which type of subtropical ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈತನಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟು ಉಷ್ಣವಲ್ಲ subtropical ಉಷ್ಣವಲಯ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಶೀತೋಷ್ಣ ವಲಯ. And these are the crops. Those are the crops which can be. And these are the activities prescribed for collective type of farming system. The systems found in countries like China, North Korea, and where the government control is very rigid. You have to grow this crop, you have to that only. India cannot have such a type of system. That means this type of activity are found mostly in communist or countries experiencing dictatorial. And here also there are some advantages. And farmers, all the farmers are owners of the land. Everybody contributes for the and everybody get their wages. And in a way, they will get all their requirements. They can live, at least, if not very luxurious life, at least comfortable life. Everybody will be fine. And then the only is ownership of the land by permitted. So, like, so we come across different farming system, an integrated farming system. We just I'd like to impress you by giving definition of farming system. ಕೃಷಿ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Appropriate combination of farming system, livestock, forest, poultry, means available ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಗಳನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಆಧಾರಿತ ಬೇಸಾಯ ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಉಪ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಗಳನ್ನು ಅರಣ್ಯ ಆಧಾರಿತ ಬೆಳೆಗಳು ಇರಬಹುದು, ಪೋಲ್ಟ್ರಿ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಒಂದು ನಿಗದಿತ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಗದಿತ ಮಿಶ್ರಣ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್, ಅಪ್ರಾಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಫಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನೆಮ್ಮಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಸಿಲು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೋಳಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, then available means available. That means if a farmer is having irrigation, that activity. If a farmer is well off, he can use. Farmer is educated to market in the country or even around. Then next is integrated. What is required? We are suggesting the farmer. That is an assurance is an important system where you can have sustainability. ಸುಸ್ಥಿರವಾದಂತ ಆದಾಯ, ಸುಸ್ಥಿರವಾದಂತ ಇಳುವರಿ, ಬೆಳೆ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ. So this is combination. Apart from combination, we have the activities based on the importance. Then there is a scope for every activity. Okay? So you are going to have again here crops, cereals, pulses, power, management. It means how there are even big then management, creativity, forestry. So integrated farming system, the ultimate aim is providing year-long employment, and year-long employment is there. Family can get better income. Better income is there. You can have standard of living. When you have better standard of living, I should put up. So another concept is diversification of agriculture. Agriculture diversification refers to shift from one crop to another. I can tell you a unique example which our students experience. 2001 at Dharwad. Dharwad is a very potential agriculture, having 800 to 900 mm of we tried different crops. Means the students were allotted 5 different crops during the practical, in which student is expected to crop in 10 quintas of area. The university provides all the advice, machinery, everything of the crop. The cost is deducted from the total income, the net student. It's an attempt to educate the students earn while they are learning. Practical and dynamic approach for the students of this direct diversification. ಬೆಳೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆ ತರೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, instead of one crop, you can think of growing not only 5 crops. Friends, I will tell you, hottest year in Karnataka, one. The average rainfall though it was 800 plus rainfall this year. And of the 5 crops tested, like cotton, maize, soybean, sunflower, and gum, each crop failed on account of pressure stress, on account of delayed sowing because of the non-onset of the monsoon. A long dry spell, that means dry spell, that means non-rainy period between 2 rains. For example, ಇವತ್ತು ಮಳೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಜೂನ್ 15 ಜೂನ್ 30 ತನಕ ಮಳೆನೇ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ the period from June to called as dry spell. ಕನ್ನಡ it is called as ವನ ಬರುವ ಎರಡು ಮಳೆಗಳ ನಡುವಿನ ಮಳೆ ಇಲ್ಲದಂತ ಅವಧಿ ಇದೆ. So based on all these things, when we tried 5 crops, 2001, the 5 crops tested, 4 crops failed on account of various reasons: lack of moisture, late onset of monsoon, early withdrawal of monsoon, long dry spell, and even the insect or pathogen problem. Of the 5 crops tested, groundnut was the best crop of body at particular. And we correlated the conditions prevailed during that year. In terms of rainfall, between 2 rains, the number of dry spells, then again the restart of the rain. That means the male bantu, war male illa, not male bantu. So such type of dry spell, rain, and it has helped crop like ground. That means the farmer can think of such activities instead of going for only one crop, 5 crops, and he can escape from the biological risk. And even the climatical risk, like temperature, many period, trade onset, withdrawal, everything. So a best approach we found practically very for diversity. I told a commercial crop cotton, a potential crop, an ideal crop groundnut, then even another ideal maybe another ideal. 3 ideal, 1 cereal, and tried of the 5 for the best performing crop. And think of such type of diversified crops, not only one farmer can really existing climatic conditions that particular area. Farmers are very intelligent, hardworking, and think of this type of choices. Diversification means ವಿವಿಧ್ಯಮಯವಾದಂತ ಬೆಳೆಗಳು. Instead of one ಬೆಳೆ, then you can think of your full component like buffalo, like cow, like sheep, rabbit, and even insect-based activity like honey, and pack insect, and only composting by using earth power. So these are insect-based, other animal. You can think of even organism-based like just just and so many things. That means diversifying the whole process of the only way for the Indian farmers, right? Other than this, there is no other concept. I told that integrated farming system, that means Samagra Krishi, Bhala Uttama, why aims at efficient recycling of farm and for example, farm waste. You grow a crop like java, the grains are used for Indian consumption, then the stalk for, and even the portion at the bottommost level, what we call it, lower source of fuel or even resistance. Then similarly, animal will give you by milk you can think of drugs, health and urine, common source. Clearly, imagine that means by cultivating requirement, high requirement crops in sequence. classes will be maximizing the nutrients. I told nutrient exhaustive, nutrient permanent. That means crops requiring less nutrient, crops requiring more nutrient, permanent nutrient can be obtained following efficient cropping system and crop rotation. And here, cropping system and crop rotation is an important dynamic. That means, ಬೆಳೆ ಪದ್ಧತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ crop ಕಾಲುವೆ ಅಂತ a crop during kharif is cereal, crop during rabi is cotton. So this type of activity leads to protecting the continuation of weed and dynamic process protect continuance of weeds. Similarly, complementary combination of farm and that means crop, animal, animal insect plus organism. This is a very dynamic system where one can expect better performance of maximization of yield. That means ultimately the performance of the by farmer is now. So these are the advantages what I told you. Can derive the most important business employment and their income, continuous income. These are the important factors. For example, I tell you in one nutshell, if you want to earn income every day, think of having like daily. Main ಹಾಲು ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಆಕಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ನಾವು ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ. Then monthly income ಅಂದ್ರೆ you can think of. One season ಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ think of. Then year ಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ think of. So according to the available resources, knowledge-based family available, one can think of getting practice on their. And I told you elements of intelligence. These are the elements really help watershed. That means you are using water available for collecting excess water. Again, biopesticide. There are pesticides are produced physical source.
Excuse me, sir.
Huh?
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ?
So these are the activities and these are the important elements. And these are the important models. This is the last leg of this presentation, which includes the different integrated farming system models for different agroclimatic zones. I was telling you, zone 1, Northeastern transitional zone, zone 8 is northern transitional. That means ಈಶಾನ್ಯ ಮಲೆನಾಡು ಇದು ಮಲೆನಾಡು ಪಗಡಿನಾಡು ಮತ್ತು ಉತ್ತರದ ಮಲೆನಾಡು. These are important. Again, I was described the extent of 50-60%, and there is a scope for horticulture, vegetables, agriculture, and important activity. This is non-profitable. The model activities practice. Next. And this is 2 and 3. Here, these 2 are dry zones. Again, the crop, the portion, and crops. These are the activities that are suggested based on the platform trials and dry zones. Central dry. These again the different dry zones of Karnataka. There are 5 dry zones. Out of 10, 5 are dry zones. Who are informed in these dry zones. These are the important activities: water crops, horticulture, dairy. Then the activities that are found profitable. Next is zone 7 and 8. I was referring you. Zone 7 is southern construction zone and even northern zone. The important topic listed for zone is different short orders. You can see I told most of the potential zones are as agricultural production. These are the activities are important. Resisted based on the continuous. Next one was referring you about the hilly area having more than 3,000 up to 6,000 rainfall. And here the choice are limited. Only rice, kharif, mulch, and farmers. And now the farmers are feeling that plantation of only rice is not. They can think of aranyada, light fever, silver. All these things very activity like cow and deer type of thing. Most suited. Last one is zone 10. Access models for zone 10. We have found these are the important activities can be performed in coastal zone having rainfall of 7,000 mm. Wherein this type of of long such a long forest, even from animal component, activity, decomposting. Even biogas use the energy available. Getting answers. These are the listed for. Thank you, friends.